listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LOZ Podcast Network. My name is Ken Lawler. Today, we have MarineMax as a feature, and I got Dale Law here. Dale is the GM for MarineMax at the lake. Dale, how you doing?
Doing great, Ken. Good to see you. And right off the bat, I'm not related to you. You're Lawler.
That's all right, brother. Hey, I feel like we're brothers, a little bit. I've known Dale for, I want to say maybe 25 years. I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. I've bought a lot of boats over there, and Dale has been there throughout the whole thing. He's been there the whole time, and he's just taken amazing care of me and my family and what we've done over there. And I know he takes care of a lot of people at the lake. Dale, tell me a little bit about how you got to the Lake of the Ozarks. Where did it all start, and how did you end up there?
Well, really, I can say I'm a local somewhat. Grew up in a little town close by. Everybody's heard of Iberia, but my grandparents had a lake cabin that they acquired, I think, in the 50s. And by the time I was 4 or 5 years old, I'd been playing in the water and learned to water ski in 1970. So been around the lake a little bit, made my way through college and back to the lake to work for Central Bank for 10 years. And one of the owners of Port Arrowhead back then said, "Hey, why don't you skip your weekends off and no more half-day Saturdays, and you want to work 7 days a week and, 60 hours a day?" Like, why would I do that? Well, they convinced me almost 25 years ago that would be a good thing. And here I am and love it.
And you've really, you've seen a lot of changes over there. The business has changed a lot. The ownership, I know, has changed a couple times over there. I mean, you've really been through everything. But I'll tell you, the one thing that I love about MarineMax at Lake of the Ozarks is when you go there, you're not the only one that's been there for 25 years. I mean, I see service people that have been there for 15, 20 years. I see guys who have been around forever. That's a testament to kind of what you guys are doing over there, isn't it?
Well, there's a handful of guys who've been here longer than I have. 35 plus years, several. So, the ownership piece changed in 2006. We went from Port Arrowhead to MarineMax, and you would probably need to start there a little bit. In 1998, our CEO had a vision of creating a group of boat dealerships, and basically took 6 dealers in 1998, became an entity called MarineMax, and signed up for being a publicly traded company, and created HZO as a boat dealer. I think maybe one of the first publicly traded boat dealers in the country. And then here we are, 27 years later, we're still MarineMax. And now we can say we are the largest boat retailer in the world. We 100 locations nationwide. We carry 30 premium brands, own a couple. We'll talk a little bit about that too. We own cruisers, yachts. We own Aviara, and we own Intrepid. There's 3 manufacturers that we have in our group. And marinas. We're probably, I think, the largest marina network in the world, in working through our flagship brand of IGY. From Cabo to Cairns to the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, we have marinas in all these locations. Kind of cool to sit here in the middle of Lake of the Ozarks and know that where we reach across the globe.
Well, and that's interesting. So tell me, how does your national scale benefit customers here at the lake? So you're the big boat conglomerate. You got all these locations. How does that benefit somebody here at the Lake of the Ozarks who's buying a boat, selling a boat, just involved with you guys?
Yeah, it's the big benefit is inventory. We'll start with that. Somebody walks in and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a 400 SLX, and we've got 2 sitting here." Well, they don't like tan seats. Okay, well, let's pull up our list. All right, so we've got 15 sitting across the country, whether it's Georgia, Oklahoma, Clearwater, doesn't matter. We got some in Oakland and up in Rogers, Minnesota. Pick a boat, we can sell it to you. And there's no other dealer network that has that ability like that. In service, hey, we got a part off an air conditioner. I'm going to use that as an example, and we can look in our parts list, and we got 70 parts locations. We'll have it here tomorrow. So if it's not sitting in our stock in our bin, so that's the two biggest things: selection, and then once you select, our network and our service and parts, trying to keep everybody on the water weekend after weekend, and that's super important to our customers, as we know.
Yeah, and I mean, service is so important too because let's face it, when you have a boating season that's 5 months long, and having that boat down for even a weekend creates havoc in your life, as it does in my family. Like, what do you mean the boat's broke? And so the one thing that I always love about you guys is, man, you work so hard to try to get people back on the water and try to get the problem solved. And that's not always prevalent at Lake of the Ozarks. And I know you guys pride yourself on really trying to make sure that your clients are taken care of when they need it. And service is a big part of that.
Well, we had realized, you said 5 months, maybe 6 months. However, your schedule, pick a customer schedule, they really aren't going to be here 6 times, maybe for the entire summer. So when you have a weekend down that they're coming, that's a sixth of their time. And, our customers look at buying a boat and they're like, well, every time I come down, it's cost me X because my boat's Y. And they figure out every time I can't boat, it's costing me this dollar amount. So we understand the importance of that. So, that customer experience from a service piece, but then it's, I feel like we are the leader at the lake in what we call getaways, events, things that keep people boating together. When we want to buy a boat, we want to serve you, then we want to teach you, and that's our process with our captains. And we want to involve you, and those kind of things go along with our mission statement. But keeping our customers involved. Aquapalooza was started in Lake of the Ozarks by MarineMax, and that's gotten big enough that it's a lake event now. And that was the beginnings of, we want to be involved with our customers. We have smaller scale events that we do on site and off site, but basically gets boaters together and go have fun. And ultimately, that's why you're buying a boat, right? You want to have fun. The family.
Yeah, and you guys have it's a sense of family over there. I mean, I know that when I come over there, I mean, there's just, it's the same people. You got people that are just sometimes just hanging out up there, right? I mean, it's a great place to be. And if you've never been down to their marina, it's awesome. I mean, it's just got a real community feel going on. And I know you guys strive to do that and make people happy and keep them together. And like you said, kind of have events that everybody can do together from time to time.
Yeah, we may be the only marina at the lake that has, I say, all the core things. Not only we have a marina that you can rent a slip, we have a fuel dock where you can buy fuel, our in-house service department, and then you can store your boat inside in a rack facility, all on the same property. Of course, our sales facility and our docks that we have our sales line on. So we have all of those components right here in one location.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And you guys are centrally located too. Like, it's by land or water. It's pretty easy to get to, and you got a really nice fuel dock there. People can get fuel, pick up some stuff, and it's just a great location on the lake. And I think people that visit you and that use your services, they really appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah, 17.5 mile marker is a good spot on the water. Our customers either go left or right, depends on how they when they pull out of the marina and what their goal is for the weekend and who they have with them. So,
well, this is great, but we are going to bring on a couple of guys that I know are big at the lake. All of a sudden, I see them all over social media. We see them, doing all kinds of things at the boat show. We're gonna do another segment here coming up where we have Ben Beecher and Marty Davis join us, and so stay tuned because we're going to be able to talk about some of the lines that you had mentioned. So, your SLX line and your cruiser yacht line and Aviara, and really kind of go through some of the differences in those boats and what's popular right now and get their take on what's going on at the lake. So, Dale, hold on. We're going to be right back after this, and we'll be joined by Ben Beecher and Marty Davis. Everybody, welcome back. And as you can see from the screen, we have a lot of people joining us right now. We have Ben Beecher and Marty Davis. You might see them. How you doing, guys?
Hey. Good. How are you?
You'll see them on different social media stuff at the lake, and they're doing a lot of stuff together, both promotionally, and I know that they help each other out on the sales side. Dale, it's really important that it all starts with people, right? I mean, we have these big organizations, we're a publicly traded company, whatever, but it all starts with just people. And tell me a little bit about the people at MarineMax and what's going on there and how it's really helped your success.
Yeah, offline we were kind of describing that, but it's super important. Everybody, you're right. They think, oh, you're publicly traded, you're corporate, and I hear that word a lot. But as I said earlier, I'm not the most tenured person here, and I'll be here 25 years in August. Our tech staff is close to what I am. Parts, service. There's people in here 30 plus years, and then we didn't even talk about the sales team. The amount of experience that these guys have. I promise you, our passion, the knowledge is second to none. And within our company, not just here at the lake, we have a lot of competition, and the two of the guys that we have in our staff are here with us, and I'm pretty fortunate to have them on my team.
That's awesome. And so, okay, Ben, Marty, I'm going to put you here and tell us how you got to the lake. I'll start with Ben. Ben, how did you get here and what got you into the boat business?
Realistically, I've always been a boater, from Colorado originally. So, grew up out there, enjoyed boating out there, vacationed out here at Lake of the Ozarks, and it was an absolute game changer. I never realized boating could be on a whole nother level. We're not dragging a boat back and forth from a storage unit to a boat ramp and doing circles all day long to having a lift and a dock in your backyard and just going out whenever. So, I absolutely loved it. I went to Colorado State University. It was a rec and tourism major. Came out here, did an internship, working for the Four Seasons, and started my own company working there, renting boats, chartering boats, 100-ton master captain's license. Got that, started driving some of the Celebration, some Tropic Island, some, really.
Man,
just
you've been all around. You've done everything down there in boats. I mean, the Four Seasons, the Celebration.
Yeah, started mobile mechanic business. Kind of just stemmed off of us always fixing our rentals and charter boats, and so that all just took off. Lost our location at the Four Seasons. Ended up, I was like, I've been wrenching on them, driving them, cleaning them, everything with them. I might as well just get into selling them, So I found my home here at MarineMax. I felt it was the best representation for myself. With how they. The quality behind the company, behind the people, like we were talking about, behind the product. So that's kind of my background and how I got here. I've been in sales now 6 years at MarineMax. It's absolutely love it. So.
We got lucky. He could have went anywhere.
Yeah, right. But that's, what though? I think people who, look, if you've been around and you've seen enough at the Lake of the Ozarks, that there's some good eggs and there's some bad eggs. And you want to be in a position where you can treat your customers right, where they're going to be handled right. And you guys have always done that at MarineMax. That's always, people obviously, no one goes through their whole boating experience without a problem. But you guys are one of the ones that are always there, always ready to fix it, always ready to make sure it's the best experience. And I'm sure as a salesperson, it's cool to work for a company that backs you up like that. Marty, how about you? How'd you get into this business?
I guess I grew up at the lake. Been here almost 40 years. Watch this place come what it is today. It's drastically changed, but messed around in the summers, got old enough to work, started pumping gas on a gas dock like a lot of locals do.
Yep.
Made summers out of that. Fell into the service world as well. I've got a background in fiberglass and upholstery, custom paint, and ended up running my own shop. It's a pretty narrowed out skill. It was hard to find support for my business. So I looked into taking my skill set and, desire of the industry and stepped into sales. Been in sales about 13 years, and that's kind of not as many steps as Ben's there, but it's been lifelong.
Well, but what's interesting is you guys have so much experience that lends itself to helping somebody find a boat. Or, let's face it, not everybody buys a new boat. Some people buy a pre-owned boat, right? We sell a lot of pre-owned boats. And when you can go walk somebody through a boat and say, look, this right now doesn't look great, but I know we can fix it, make it look brand new. Or this upholstery is not right, but we can make it right. That from a person who's trying to sell their boat and from someone who's buying a boat, to have that reassurance, you guys have all that experience that you can bring to the show and tell them, look, well, this is something we can fix. Or even better, this is something we can't. I mean, this is a big deal. We want to stay away from something, and we don't take that boat in. So, I mean, you guys are, that experience is awesome. And Dale, I mean, I applaud you on bringing guys in that have that much experience in these different industries, because, normally when you get in a sales organization, it's guys who sold something and that's all they did. They're just sellers. So,
it ought to be a prerequisite, and that's looking at when we hire new salespeople. What have you done to get to this point? And I would take Marty's insight is phenomenal when it comes to that thing you just described. Hey, this can be fixed or this can't, and being very transparent about what that looks like. So his experience has been really, really good at this.
Well, guys, I'm going to get your take on a few things here. We're going to talk about the boats, and so we're going to go through some of the lines that you guys have, and I just want to talk a little bit about the popularity of them and kind of what you guys see as what's popular out there now and what's popular about the boats you guys have. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring up on the screen here the SLX line, and this is the 350, and maybe Ben, tell us a little bit about this boat and what makes it popular.
Well, the first thing that makes it popular says right there on the side of it, Sea Ray. But out on the lake boating around, it's definitely a Sea Ray driven lake, and that it's not just because of the name; it's because of the product. When I had a rental fleet years ago, I had various different boats, and the ones that just stood the test of time were the Sea Rays. So I really feel like it's a better product that really just presents itself, and the people have stuck with that brand. So, Sea Ray's transitioned into the larger bow rider industries is that the kind of that theme followed it. So they've really been the leader, setting industry standards, and we'll talk more about like the 400 SLX and what they've done. But this 350, 310, 350, 400, all of them have been a fantastic boat for this lake. It provides you a great riding boat while maintaining a day boat if you don't need the cabin with the air conditioner and all that. A large cabin stay on the boat. These big bow riders have really taken over for the day boating.
Look at this boat. I mean, what can't you do on this boat? I mean, it is built for fun. I mean, you got a layout deck, you got the bow rider, you got coverage. You could either have the sun or not have the sun. I mean, they really thought this thing out. And guys, they really use Lake of the Ozarks as a training board for the boats that they're building, right? I mean, the bow rider, I think, sort of like came out at the lake, right? I mean, this people want to ride up front. They want to go for rides around the lake, and you got 90 miles to go. So, this is a cool boat.
Oh yeah.
In the early 2000s, Sea Ray come out with their 280, morphed into their 290, one of the best selling bow riders in the history of bow riders, that 280 and then the 290 SLX. And that kind of put the big bow rider path with Sea Ray on the map, if you would.
That's a gorgeous boat. I don't know how, I'm assuming this is a popular one.
Oh yeah. And you're looking at the picture here, you see the fold out terrace on the starboard side there. They really started that. They released that, and now the whole industry is trying to duplicate that because it was such a game changer to the way people boat and use their boat.
Let's go to look at this interior now. This is tell us about this boat.
Same boat, 400 SLX there. And if you it's hard to see in this picture, but one of the big features of this boat is when you step on the back of the swim platform, you can walk all the way up to the front of the bow on one level. So it really helps it feel more inviting, entertaining, but you still have plenty of open space for all the people and their gear. Because let's face it, when people get on the boat, they don't just get on by themselves with nothing. They have bags and foods and drinks and coolers. You got tons of stuff. So a lot of deck space for that by not having to go up and down and around with stairs.
My experience is that a lot of them get on my boat, but they don't bring their wallet. That's another story. We'll get to that. But the other thing is these LED lights that they're doing now. I mean, you used to have to go to an aftermarket and get LEDs put on your boat and get a better sound system. That's not the case anymore, is it? I mean, these come fully rocked with great sound systems, all LED lighting. Marty, you can certainly see that they've kind of tried to do away with the aftermarket on here and given everybody the choices right up front.
Yeah, the boat really does, as Ben said, lead the market in innovation and setting that standard for almost every other brand out there in its segment. The appeal, the feel, it truly is perfectly executed as far as a brand.
Now, tell us a little bit about this, because I mean, the big thing now that we see all over Lake of the Ozarks, and I'm telling you guys, this is in my mind, it's a 5-year ago phenomenon to now. Is you never saw an outboard on a big boat. You saw them on fishing boats. You might have saw them on a race boat from time to time, but this is the changing of going to these other engines is something different, isn't it?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
You might have seen Marty and I recently do a video on this Cruisers Yachts 50 GLS, but I mean, the way that the boat gets on top of the water with these big outboards is a whole nother, it's a game changer in how the boat performs. Marty, what's your take on that?
As far as, in industry, the outboards are where the entire industry's spending their money in development. So we're going to see more and more of it come that way. They're quiet. The service intervals are less. All in all, you have a better experience because the boat is just a better boat. But I mean, that boat right there, it's 50 feet and it's on top of the water like a 25-foot sport boat would be. It's really impressive to feel the acceleration. Even when you're running 35 miles an hour, you give it the rest of the gas and it just takes off again. So
We got 1,800 horsepower, 2-speed transmissions in those. I mean,
that's amazing. And here's the thing, like as a boater on Lake of the Ozarks, growing up and going for 25 years, we cove out. That's what we do. We go and we cove out. And so when I always saw these engines, I thought, well, they're great, but I can't cove out. I can't sit on the back of my boat like I like to do. And then all of a sudden you see this picture and you're like, well, they figured that out. So even though I've got these outboards, I got all this space to lay out on the water and cove out in. And I mean, what an amazing transformation from your boats that were, 10 years ago.
well, and just talk about cruisers for a second. So that is MarineMax purchased Cruisers Yachts. So they are in our portfolio, and we get a lot of say, and we'll get a lot of say about how they develop the next generations because of Lake of the Ozarks. We needed a greater than 40-foot boat built domestically. They're built in Oconto, Wisconsin. So, the Azimuths, the Galleons, the boats coming from Europe, great boats, but we needed to fill the gap that Sea Ray left with that big cruiser.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a gorgeous boat. I mean, it's got everything, and and cruisers, you see them around, and you can definitely tell that they've just got a style about them. And when you see them on the water, are gorgeous, gorgeous boats. Let's talk a little bit about the Cantius series. And this is kind of back to what I'm used to is the big cabin and the nice bedrooms. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, my bedroom at home isn't this nice. This is an awesome experience. So, tell us a little bit about this boat.
Well, this is our 50 Cantius. And these are for a lot of the boaters, and I'm one of them. I'm an old school boater. I got to have my cabin cruiser. I'm not giving up yet. So these are brand new product that we can get over 40 foot, like Gail was saying, domestically built here in the United States. Nice thing is if you are staying aboard them, that first picture you saw the cabin, this one, I mean, that's a full beam master stateroom there. So really allows you a ton of space. So you're utilizing the whole beam of that boat rather than just, you'll have a VIP room up at the bow where they've traditionally done them. But by going underneath, they can go full beam, and it gives you so much more space if you're staying on board this boat.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. And then, of course, even the exteriors now, I mean, on those boats are just so, I mean, look how beautiful that is. I mean, you put all the windows on it. I mean, this thing you could take out in anything, right? Any kind of weather, any kind of temperature, you're pretty much going to be.
Absolutely. Not worrying about rain. You're not worrying, bad weather coming in. You just close it up. If it's a beautiful day, you don't need to run all the air conditioners, keep it cool in there. You just open up all the windows, the sunroof, and it's really good air movement through there. So you get the best of both worlds.
It's an awesome boat. It really is. Okay, let's go to Aviara. I got taught how to say that just before we got on the air. Aviara. Tell me about this boat.
It's a great riding boat for our rough water. Is the ultimate takeaway, and it really gives you kind of an outcross from the other styles of the boats out there. A little more European design,
It does have it's got a real European design to it. It's cool.
It's for that person that just wants something that the neighbors don't have. Anybody in the cove, and they really are well made poles. They will stand up to this water for sure.
I mean, the look at that. I mean, just the colors and the interiors, they really have pointed them out. It reminds me, the old teak boats that we used to see, I've likened it to, I used to go up to Lake Geneva, and you go up there and there's these just beautiful teak. I mean, it'd take a guy a whole weekend just to rub it out, and make sure it was shiny and ready for the next weekend, which was no fun. But there's just something different about the lines on this one, and it's just so classic and what a cool look.
Yeah, no, and like Marty was saying, that not only is the look cool, we were when they introduced them to us at Lake of the Ozarks, we saw them. We're like, these are cool, they're unique, they're different. It's something you don't see every day. But where we were really sold on them is when we took them out and ran them, especially in the rough water. We all kind of looked at each other like, wow, this truly is impressive.
And that's the one thing at Lake of the Ozarks that I think we deal with more than most lakes is it can get a little choppy, particularly on a Saturday when you take a boat out. And so to have something that can get through that, and you can get from one place to the other without your whole party dropping their drinks on them and crying is nice. And it's a unique thing to Lake of the Ozarks, but it's also something I think that's a positive, because as we all know, you guys sell boats for everybody. You sell boats for all the different things that they're doing. And that Lake of the Ozarks is a different lake from Thursday night to Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon to Thursday morning, it's a completely different lake. And, you guys have something for everybody, no matter how they're using the lake. Look at this. I mean, how can you not have fun entertaining on something like this?
Yeah, Ken, side note, you may not know this. Aviar is not built across the pond. They're originally Tennessee, built in Knoxville, and MarineMax purchased the Aviar brand, and so they're a domestic built boat, but yet they have that feel of that European style that Marty was talking about, that people want to have. I want to be a little different, but I need a super good heavy riding boat, and that's it.
Well, guys, we have shown quite a few options that you guys are selling, and I know it's only a few of what you have. You have a ton of inventory and all kinds of different things. You also sell a ton of used inventory, right? I mean, it's not just all new boats, right?
Oh yeah, no, we a lot of used inventory. Not everybody starts off, buying a new boat. They will eventually work their way there. Most of them will, but we got something for everybody. So we try to keep up current on all the inventory. Try to work a lot of trades. So it's a constant movement in our industry.
I'd like to get each of your take, just finishing up here on what advice would you give to somebody that's considering, their first big boat or upgrade at Lake of the Ozarks? Like what are some of the things that you tell people you need to look for when they're shopping a boat that's a substantial purchase?
I'd say first, a lot of people come in and they're looking to upgrade or make that first purchase, and they're intimidated to do what they really want. And I've found over the years here, it's my job to encourage them to do that. And I mean, when I started, I was a tech. I didn't spend much time out on the water. And this team, we've got delivery captains, and they will train you, your wife, your kids, how to operate that boat. And it doesn't really matter the vessel size. They're going to approach it professionally and as patiently as it need to be to make sure you're safe out on the water. And that's the best answer I could tell anybody.
Awesome advice. Dan, what about you?
I feel like Marty really hit the nail on the head with that. I was just basically my big thing would be, really work on, and then the process of the sale, really focus on the interview and how they use their boat, because realistically the whole industry is come so far in the boating world, and everybody builds a different boat, and they're really cool. They got everything's got a lot on it. And so, you really dial in what your day will look like on the water, what you want it to look like. And then we can help shape around, because there's so much out there anymore. We can really help shape where they want to be and not just sell them, but coach them, what they should be looking at and going after.
And Dale, the one thing we didn't talk about was your finance department. I mean, you guys have a really good F&I department that's helping people get the boat of their dreams, right? I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's I want to piggyback before we lose that. What do you give the advice when somebody's coming in, and this probably will play into that F&I piece. So I would encourage every shopper to go check out the other dealers, check out the other boats, check out the other people. We're not obviously the only dealer in town. All the boats have nice engines, nice sound system, lighting, like you talked about, all the gadgets, all the cool stuff. What sets us apart is the people, how we treat you, and not just today, but the next 4, 5, 6 years. What's your boating experience like? It's not just a one and done sale in MarineMax. And I emphasize that we are heavily pushing customer service after the sale. What's that look like? So when you walk in, you can say we are a one-stop shop. Besides sales, parts, and service, yep, we got a great business office. Our banks that we have in MarineMax here, even through our local dealer network, we have lenders that nobody else has access to because of our MarineMax power. We have our own insurance company. We're a company and an agent to help insure your boat. People don't understand that piece. Helping through what's tax look like? What's it going to cost me to own this boat besides the cost of the actual boat? So a lot of experience in that world. And that's where I started. I grew up in MarineMax in Port Arrowhead in the F&I office. So I have a lot of passion for that, understand how important that is in this whole process of the sale. So I stack our team from sales, service, all the way through parts, F&I with any dealer, and in our product and what we offer, everything's a premium brand. You're going to pay a little more. And if you're looking for cars, you're going to pay more for that Mercedes than you will that Toyota. Both good cars, both going to get you from point A to point B, but why would you want to pay more and deal with somebody else? So,
well, you guys do. I mean, the one thing I will tell you is that, and I've been dealing with you guys now for, like I said, 20, 25 years. The familiarity, there's always people that are there at the dealership. The people stick around, and people, you go some places and it's like, oh, I've been here for a year, I've been here for 2 years. You go to your place, I've been here for 18, I've been here for 30, I've been here for 10. I mean, that means something, and that's something that I think is important to people, especially when you're going to put a substantial amount of money into a boat. These boats are not inexpensive. They're a major purchase, but you want to know if you're going to make that major purchase that someone's standing behind you and they're going to make sure that it all gets done right. And I'm so happy we were able to feature you guys today on the LOZ Podcast Network. We'll do another one of these later on in the season with you and kind of catch up on stuff. And I love the fact that over Ben's shoulder, I've seen you deliver 3 boats out already in the water. So things are moving. You guys this is the season. We're in it now. And that's great. That's what we want. And we're so happy to have you guys on the podcast network and tell us exactly what's going on over there. And I know you'll see Ben and Marty out there doing some other social media, so make sure you support them. Ask for them when you come in. If they're not there, I'm sure there's a couple other people that in the sales staff that can help you. And then Dale's always there. So I every time I'm there, Dale's there. I think he sleeps under the desk or something. I can't figure out how he spends so much time.
I can share that secret when I do.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the LOZ Podcast Network, and we'll touch base with you, like I said, a little later in the summer and catch up. But great episode. Thanks again. And we guys will see you on the next episode of LOZ Podcast Network.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Been a pleasure.